The brothers, Xenof and Eutycles, looks at Natasi bewildered and shocked.
What? I thought it was a myth.
It is no myth.
All of this is because of that beast?
Yes.
How do we stop it?
Unfortunately, it is already in motion. Francis brushes his hair back while his brother groans in frustration. Damn it all. How will it begin in this dimension? After the dragons of East and West collides. When is that? She turns the page and points at a paragraph. It is when Rhaegon, the noble dragon of the East, rises from the sea and encounters the infamous dragon of the West, Mizora. Rhaegon? Mizora? How would that be possible? Rhaegon is living peacefully in his home dimension, is he not? Is there a way to convince him not to face Mizora? Unfortunately, no. Wait, Oracle. How can that be? Mizora is still dormant. And the sorcerers in this realm know of its reputation. Who would be insane enough to reawake it? Natasi does not say a word. Natasi? She looks up from the book, dead on into Xenof's eyes. She continues to stare at him for an extended period of time, but then Johnny suddenly realizes it. Me? Xenof? How could... Impossible. What would drive me to do that? An unforeseen tragedy in your life, leading to things that no one will ever expect. Once you are set on its path, there will be no going back. Natasi, am I going to die? She shakes her head lightly. But you two will be on opposite ends, battling each other to contain one over the other. As your struggle begins, the chain of events in Academy City and beyond will be the catalyst for Mizora's reawakening. And no matter the outcome of the dragons of East and West, the great apocalypse will be set in motion. The brothers are speechless. A horrific event of epic proportions is inevitable. My lord, this is madness. I must do everything in my power to stop myself from engaging from you. But I do not know how. Xenof, it is very unfortunate. You will be sent on this path. Try as you might, but it will be useless in the end. I will visit you once more to prove you wrong. If you do, it will be our last. What? When the dragons of East and West concludes, When the dragons of East and West concludes, I and my husband will not be alive when the great apocalypse arrives, nor ends. Because we will be murdered. The sounds of battle is becoming less and less. In the northern districts, the European Crusaders of different countries have them successfully secured. Survivors are saved, and 1/4 of the invading Celtic Crusaders are captured as POWs. In the southern districts, the remaining ACDF and JSDF has experienced the same results, but most of the Celtic Crusaders have been killed in action, with some captured. School District 22. Mai Konari leads out of the collapsed tunnel entrance. She turns around and reaches her hand out. Another grabs hers, and she pulls the person out. Himigame, holding Sphinx in her arm, crawls out and carefully walks down the pile. She turns her head to the left, seeing the devastation that the city has endured. I hope Toma's okay. I'm sure he is. Come on, I got you. Konari pulls out another survivor, and the JSDF soldiers are helping her out. Central School District 7. Accelerator lands on his feet. He reaches to his neck and hits a tiny button on the electrode strapped around it. Well, that was disappointing. Sutton, Uehara, and Montgomery cheers out of joy. The Saints, Kanzaki, Orwell, and Knight Leader Marshall breathes a sigh of relief. So, what will we do with the body? Don't know. I think we should dismember it and send it to Antarctica. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be a bad idea. The first rank level 5 turns around and walks away. Exhausted, and his right hand twitching, Kamajo, victorious, breathes heavily. He becomes very lightheaded and falls forward. An arm wraps around his chest, stopping him. Carefully holding him, Misaka slowly gets to her knees. Tomo opens his eyes and smiles. I never learn, do I? No, you don't. Stupid idiot. She places her forehead onto his. Seeing this, Kuroko Shirai places her hand on her chest as her heart beats faster. But she breathes a sigh of relief. Hamazora, Kinohata, and Takitsubo approaches their leader with the sniper rifles on the former's backs and holding their M16A4 and AKM respectively. Is it over? It ought to better be. Thank goodness. Sugita comes up to the level 5 meltdowner and pats her on the back. Hey, we did it. It took a lot of guts to take him down. She brushes his hand off of her. That level 0 got the last hit on him. What a bunch of bullshit. Nah, that ain't just a level 0. Huh? It's true. He did so many things for us, including me. I guess he's one of the reasons why I joined you guys. Shizuri raises her left eyebrow. Shame that I didn't get to see any dragons, though. That would have been awesome! Wait, dragons? As Gunhan tells them the story, Mugino stares at Misaka and Kamajo, more so the latter. Francis Euclides kneels down next to Toma and Mikoto. He places his hand on the boy's shoulder. And that is what happens when you stay in line. I wish you could have done that sooner. Yeah, if only. The three looks to Zenov, lying motionless on the concrete road. So, is he indeed? What now? I do not know. But what I do know is that something will happen after this. What do you mean? The British PM stands up to his feet. He holds Toma's arm and pulls him up. Mikoto stands up and helps the boy stand up. The three turns and begins walking away from the body to the other espers. I hate to rain on his victory, but another prophecy is about to begin. Prophecy? It is difficult to describe in detail, but I feel that others will need to hear of this, because it will affect them as well. Kamajo and Misaka cannot believe what they are hearing. My rotten luck. Can we at least rest before you drop this info on us? That I will do. So many lives have been taken away. It is a shame that we have to celebrate this hollow victory. A hollow victory, indeed. The three suddenly stops in their tracks. Their faces turn into shock and horror. Item, Sugita, and Shirai hears the voice and stares back ahead. Misaka, Kamajo, and Euclides turns around. Jonathan Zenov raises his upper body. The blood on his body disappears, and the massive wound heals. The man breathes in air, then exhales. You always had the bad habit of not finishing what is right in front of you. Shame, really. He shows the three an empty syringe. Euclides becomes even more shocked. As Francis was pulling out the Toulon, Jonathan reaches to his suit pocket and pulled out the syringe. The Irish PM throws the syringe away and stands to his feet. Congratulations, Imagine Breaker. You managed to fulfill your promise. But at what cost?
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Impossible. I thought...
Destroying the Toulon would sever the connection between myself and Mizora? Yes, you have succeeded in that. However, there is a flaw. If you go after the courier and sever the connection, the courier stays alive. Wait, what the hell does he mean by that? She stops mid-sentence the moment she turns to look at Francis. The man's face is utter shock. Mizora still lives. A chilling bellow stops the celebrations. Accelerator stops in his tracks and turns his head to the left. Bagan raises its upper body and shakes its head. Magic covers its chest, then disappears, revealing the wound is now healed. So, you got some fight left in you? The kaiju gets to his knees, then stands on its 2 feet. It stares down at the first-rank level 5, snarling with fury. The boy, however, makes a sadistic smile, turns his body around, and hits the button on his electrode to Esper mode. The crotch retracts itself, and he cracks his knuckles. Only got 15 minutes and... Only got 20 minutes left on this thing, but it'll be worth it. Alright,
Let's dance!
He darts himself up into the air, reaching his right arm out. Baggins steps aside and swings his right open hand. The boy prepares to block it, but then it stops short. The force pushes the chairman away, shocking him.
What? It didn't even hit me!
His vector stops his momentum mid-flight. He looks ahead, only to find the beast already levitating in the air with swinging its open right hand. Once again, it stops inches from his body, and once again, it knocks the boy away.
Gah! Wait, I've seen this before.
His body crashes through 2 buildings, then stops on the side of the 3rd.
This is the same thing that Remastered used. How did he do it again?
White ore surrounds a 70-meter tower, and it breaks from its foundation. I can deflect any power or element with my vectors from one direction to another. But when I confronted Kihara, he was able to disrupt them by stopping just short of hitting me, and he was able to redirect my vectors back at me. Don't tell me. The tower hovers next to the levitating Mizora.
This thing is able to do what that piece of did?
The tower flies towards the boy at top speed. Accelerator darts himself from the building. He raises his right leg and kicks into the flying structure and erupting on the other side. He lands a flying kick to Baggins' face, but the beast recovers and goes for a bite. The level 5 gets out of the way and grabs onto his nose horn. He swings it in place, breaking off the horn. The beast crash lands 500 yards away, then stops itself.
Damn it! He's probably laughing at me from the grave.
Baggins' eye stares a hole through the chairman. Then it catches a glimpse of something. The Saints, Orwell, Marshall, and Kinzaki are carrying Saturn, Uehiro, Yumikawa, Suzuri, Khrushcheva, Last Order, Ultimus, and Index away from the area, with Cromwell sneaking underneath. It levitates once more and dashes towards them. Accelerator gets in its way and continues the brawl. Kongo, Awatsuki, and Wanai comes around the corner, spotting Misaka, Kamajo, Euclid, Shirai, Sugita, and Idem, with Shokuho and her clique, Style Magnus and her 3 witches following behind them. Zanov himself notices them.
How is the Black Death still walking?
The Saints lands next to them, with the girls dropping from their arms or backs.
We're completely out of options. We don't know what to do.
The body of Accelerator flies past Mugino and Sugita and crashes into a 20-meter building. I will admit this. The bravery and strength of your first-ranked level 5 is something to admire. But his capabilities of being a leader of any city or state, or country for that matter, is severely lacking. A giant piece of debris flies out of the smoke. Toma, Makoto, and Francis jumps out of the way. Jonathan ducks and stares ahead. Accelerator, in a crazed rage, erupts and lands on his feet next to Mugino.
Would you like to repeat that, you son of a bitch?
I would rather not, considering I hate wasting my breath repeating myself. Mizora lands on his feet 10 yards behind him. All of the Espers and Sorcerers huddles together, gather their powers, and wields their weapons and gets ready to fight for every ounce of energy. Misaka, Kamajo, and Euclid stands in front of the group. Any ideas? Go out with a bang. A bold and honest decision, but useless. Well, I am afraid that our mission is complete, and it is time to tie up any loose ends. The beast opens its mouth, conjuring white flames from within. Hades flies back into Zenov's hand, and he gets ready to swing. A jolt of energy stops the two. Everyone becomes confused. Zenov and Baggins' faces are full of shock. Euclid smiles and looks at Misaka. She looks back at him, concerned. Why are you looking at me like that? I want to thank you. Half a mile away, a lightning bolt strikes upwards, then downwards. Misaka moves her head slightly, spotting the Amaxa and New Light approaching them. We're doing the right thing. A bright blue light shines from the crater. Godzilla III rises up, growling and surging with his gifted energy. And for helping Raygon achieve evolution. His back sparks with electricity. Dorsal fins, make-believe in shape, jolts out and sticks to his back, from head to the base of the tail. His eyes opens, revealing the blue light covering them. Baggin cannot believe what it is seeing. The ends of the hairs of Kamajo, Misaka, Shirai, and Kinzaki turns bright blue without the four noticing. Francis lifts his hands and covers his ears. Everyone, cover your ears. Without question, they do such. Hail to the king! Long may he reign!
King?
Evolved and full of gifted, newfound energy, Godzilla roars into the night sky. The sound of his combined roar travels up to an additional 20 miles, getting everyone's attention and grinding the entire battle to a screeching halt. The roar fades away. Godzilla turns around, spotting the perplexed and stunned Bagan. He walks from the crater as the bolt seizes and his fins continues to glow. Mazora's mood turns to anger and walks towards him. White flames blast from the blade of Hades and surround Xenoff, teleporting him away. Hey Francis, you got any more portals in you? Actually, I do. He swings his broadsword Gaia down, ripping into the air, creating a portal 10 feet high and wide. If you wish to seek the ending of this battle, step through for a better vantage point. Euclides runs through, followed by the rest of the Espers and Sorcerers. The group arrives on top of a 90-meter tower. Xenoff appears in front of the Celtics' 22nd platoon. Kimigami and Konari watches on from a distance. The battle has come to a halt to see the kaiju brawl once more. Hey, where did the sisters go? They bolted out of there. Actually, one of them were having a conversation with him. Why? Tatamiya shrugs his shoulders, unsure of why exactly. All eyes focuses back on the kaiju. Mizora roars. It levitates from the ground and darts towards Raygon. It balls up its right fist and punches him on the side of his face. The impact creates a shockwave traveling in all directions. From anger to shock, Godzilla has not veered his eyes away nor flinched from the punch. He bites on the arm, then pulls on it. He spins in one place, then lets go. Then, in the same motion, he turns his body, swinging his tail, and smacks Bagan on the back. It falls to its knees, but bounces back to its feet. It turns around, swinging a hard left. Raygon deflects it with his left and swings a hard right, connecting to its face. He swings a left slash to its cheek, a right slash to its chest, a left followed by a right punch to the face. As Mizora becomes dazed, Raygon spins and smashes his tail on its face. The infamous dragon staggers on its feet and shakes its head. The hands of Raygon surges with electricity. He rushes and grabs the chin. The bolt travels through Mizora's body from head to toe. He grabs the top of its head, deadlifts its entire body, and slams it to the ground.
Woo! Nice!
Tatamiya and Yamaxa sits down, pulls out snacks, and enjoy themselves. The Celtics' 47th platoon swings their broadswords up, shooting beams from their blades. They hit Godzilla's left side, but as the smoke clears, they do no damage. His dorsal fins glows bright blue. He turns, then roars at them at an extreme volume. A wave breathes from his mouth at the platoon, vaporizing them, leaving no trace of them anywhere.
That looked like an oscillatory wave. That's so ultra cool!
A swift uppercut from Bagan knocks away Godzilla, but he stands on his feet, unfazed by the hit. It dashes towards him and swings a left and right to his face. It swings for another left, but he bites on the arm. The beast shrieks and punches him on the head. He does not let go. He yanks on it hard. The arm rips from the shoulder, and the beast roars in agonizing, horrific pain.
Ooh, jeez!
Brutal. Bagan steps back, grabbing its stump. The severed arm engulfs in blue fire. It dissolves to ash, and Godzilla snarls at his foe. It stares dead on at him, beyond furious. 5 buildings are surrounded by its aura, rips from their foundations, then flies towards him. Another oscillatory wave cuts them off and smashes onto the user. The wave vaporizes its armor, exposing its skin from underneath. The beast drops to its knees, writhing in pain. It looks back up at Godzilla. It looks like it's getting too much for it. The power that you gifted Raygon has helped him tremendously. With that power, he is able to do more than before. Oh yeah? Like what? A great engine roar gets everyone's attention. The 100 Shearwater naval fighters has arrived. The pilot spots their god in a weakened state. They go into their dives. Bagan feels a sense of relief. But Xenoff is thinking differently.
David, no! We do not know what Raygon is capable of now!
Godzilla himself turns his head and spots the fighters diving towards him. His dorsal fins glows blue once more. He stares back at Bagan with his face fuming with rage. Its joy turns to concern. It does not know what is going to happen. Raygon takes a step forward and leans forward. High pressurized beams fires from in between the fins. In the blink of an eye, 25 jets gets hit. Godzilla slightly twists his body without moving the rest, while his eyes are still locked onto his enemy. All of the jets, without any time to react, are hit one after the other. The 306 Tactical Fighter Squadron spots the beams shooting up into the sky.
What is that? Oh, he stole my move!
The dorsal beams stops. Godzilla stands up straight, still gazing at the stunned and horrified Bagan. All Crusaders, do not help Bagan.
But sir...
Xenoff turns to him. I am not losing more of my warriors. He turns back as pieces of the fighters falls to earth. The inevitable has arrived anyhow. Bagan's mood turns to fury. Here it is, reduced to its knees because of its own enemy's grandson, and its followers are killed without so much as flinching. Infuriating to it and unacceptable. It dashes towards Godzilla, swinging its tail. He does not duck, but instead bites on the tail and swings it away. It stops its momentum and dashes at him again. It headbutts him, but he does not budge.
Why persist? You cease.
Why must you persist? It is useless. Wait, how do you know that? Mizor goes for another headbutt. Raygon steps aside, uppercuts it, and throws the beast away 324 yards away. It lands on its feet and shakes its head. It furiously roars at him. Energy builds on its exposed chest. To everyone, it is the same blast that weakened Godzilla, but he stands his ground, deciding to take it head on. The great plasma blast fires from Bagan's chest. Its trampling speed blows away rubble and debris in its path. It collides with Godzilla and explodes on impact. The feeling of dread returns, but Xenoph's mood does not change. The smoke clears. Godzilla opens his eyes, spotting a wall of lightning. But the wall is a shield. A protective shield? What else can this thing do? Raygon continues to look at the atomic shield, then turns his attention back to Bagan, of which has fired its white plasma breath at him. It hits the shield, but it does not give way. Stopping its fire, Mizora is beyond shocked at what it is seeing. Raygon scoffs at his enemy's failure. He takes a hard step forward. The shield launches from in front of his body. The wave of electricity smashes onto Bagan, stunning it, and its remaining armor falls off, disintegrating as they hit the ground. A shield that turns into a shockwave? Holy sh! The infamous dragon drops to his knees once more, clenching its chest and taking in deep breaths. It lifts its head and gazes at the noble dragon.
You see, for the T, we fatal.
It is useless. Further attempts will be fatal.
It'll be surrender or die.
It is over. Surrender now or die. Okay, you're starting to scare me, Sutton. I don't know what's causing me to do this. Its anger grows. Bagan defiantly roars, telling him that it refuses to surrender. To Godzilla, it is clear. The sides of its tail lights up with a blue glow. It lifts up, revealing itself to the humans. It grabs his attention a little, but focuses back on his grandfather's enemy. Mizor lifts itself from the ground. It dashes forward and opens its right hand. Raygon lightly squats and he waits. It swings. He ducks and spins in place, swinging his tail. The glowing tail slices through the beast's legs clean off like a katana. Everyone feels as time suddenly freezes as they become speechless. Bagan falls on its stomach with a sickening thud. Its mood has changed once more to horror and fear. It crawls using its hands. Its tail gets grabbed. The kaiju cries out for mercy as its body gets dragged back. Godzilla continues to pull, but suddenly he lets go. He rushes to its side and bites down on its shoulder. The light fades from the sides of the tail, but another light travels from the top of the tail through the dorsal fins to the back of his head. The familiar charging sound is heard, accompanied by electric sparks. His eyes are covered in a brightly glow. Bagan attempts to scurry away to no avail. Godzilla grabs it by the head and holds it tight. He grabs its jaw and pries it open, breaking it in the process. He fires an atomic ray down Bagan's throat. The blast destroys its throat, incinerates the heart, and explodes on impact in the stomach. Chunks of Bagan's stomach explodes outwards, flying like missiles in multiple directions. The kaiju's body grows colder, then ceases. Godzilla stops firing, then he rips the head off from its shoulders. All of the humans who witnessed it are beyond stunned at this gruesome execution. Zenoff looks away in grief, but Euclides closes his eyes and smiles. The body of Bagan stops moving. It falls forward, hitting the ground. Godzilla looks at the head of his defeated and dead foe, then back at the body. The clock strikes 9:45 p.m. He lifts and plants his foot on the corpse. Still holding on to the severed head, he lifts his head up and roars triumphantly into the night sky. "1:45 p.m., London, England. Ursula acquaintance sits in a chair next to a bed, praying for the sick sister Angela, who is laying down. Suddenly, white aura exits her body. Angela's ill face evaporates, and the sweat on her forehead disappears. She opens her eyes and sits up in the bed. "Oh my goodness! Sister?" The Catholic nun looks at the young girl. "Sister, where's Frankie?" "He's in Academy City handling the matter. But how do you feel?" Euclides' phone vibrates. He reaches into his pocket and takes it out. He sees the text sent to him. He flips it open and reads the message. "Wonderful news! Sister Angela is finally cured. The bad news is that she wants to bash you on the head for an explanation." Of course she does. Kamijo looks to him. "Everything all right? My fiancé is alive and well, but that will not stop being bashed on the head." Who does that remind me of? I heard that. Both the railgun and English nun looks at one another. An awkward moment, but they can relax very easily. Godzilla tosses the head of Bagan. It crashes into a building 200 yards away. Zenoff turns his body from what he and the Celtic Crusaders had just witnessed. "Sir, what should we do? I mean, we can't just let this..." "What is my order?" The man is reminded of the order of no more Celtics going into action. The Prime Minister already knew of the fate that would happen. There is nothing we could do. Accept it and move on. Are all of the objectives complete? Yes, sir." "And the casualty rate?" The man does not respond, but shakes his head. I see. Seems that the people wanted to protect this city. They are brave, and I suppose their deaths were not in vain." "Sir, Scandinavia has agreed to join the Union." Good. And the others?" "It's still pending, sir. We will have our answers soon." "Sir, there are those that are actively defecting. Should we hunt them down?" "Rest for 24 hours, then proceed. Also, there is one who offered her assistance, yes?" "Yes, sir." "Then it is welcome. Now, let us return to the Celtic Republic." I don't know how we should tell the people how our god was killed." "You seem to have forgotten. Gods, unless stripped of their power, cannot die that easily. And as for the captured, Protocol 228 will be enacted. If they refuse, then I am sure that our new hell will figure a way out." White flame shoots from the axe hammer Hades and surrounds the platoon and Zenoff. Enjoy the victory, hollow as it is. But be ready for what is to come. As for me, I must do one thing before I return home. And it sickens me to no end. Euclides looks to where his brother is, only to find the white flames disappearing, and his brother is gone. His attention turns to Satan, sympathy and regret of not telling her the truth or what is about to happen. Then he turns back to what is ahead. Godzilla III, the lone kaiju standing, stares down at the corpse of Bagan. He had finally achieved the impossible. He finally succeeded where his grandfather left off. The feeling of accomplishment is starting to become overwhelming for the 19-year-old. He closes his eyes and breathes a sigh of relief. But then, he suddenly realizes that there is something that he has not forgotten. Something that he has been keeping in the back of his mind. He lifts his head up. He turns to his left and his eyes locks into Makoto Misaka. He snarls and removes his foot from the corpse. Instantly, the humans on the tower realizes that it is not over. He turns his body and walks towards them. The Espers and Sorcerer steps back a little, but stops. The latter wields their weapons with firm grips. The anti-skill officers, Hamazora and Kinohata, cocks their weapons and aims forward. The tanks of the JSDF's Northern Army aims their cannons at him. The Espers gathers power in their abilities, while those without power stands behind them. Kamajo grips his right hand, and electricity surrounds Musica. She looks to Euclides and becomes shocked. He does not wield his broadsword, but sheathes it and rests his arms to his side. He turns to her, staring at her dead in the eyes. She is a little perplexed as to why he is staring at her. She turns back to the approaching kaiju. His attention is only on her. She looks behind her and sees the others getting ready. Finally, she gets it. Bolts, disappears, and she stands normally. Kamajo looks at her confused, but he immediately understands. He lets go of his right hand and rests his hands beside him before staring back ahead. Mikoto takes in a deep breath, then starts walking forward. Shirai watches her as she stops near the roof's edge. She rushes over to her, grabbing her right arm. Godzilla, annoyed, roars at her, telling her to step aside. She holds onto the arm very tightly. Musica places her left hand on her friend's arm and shakes her head. The level 4 is stunned and becomes horrified. With no words spoken, her friend is insisting that it is between him and her alone. Euclides approaches her and carefully pulls her away. Mikoto takes in a deep breath and looks back up ahead. To the north, the European Crusaders watches on as the kaiju continues to approach the tower. Finally, Godzilla stops. He is only 50 yards away from the group of Espers and Sorcerers. He and Musica locks eye to eye with one another. Raygon has no injuries, cuts, or bruises. Mikoto, while uninjured, is covered in dirt and dust. A low grumble vibrates the bones of everyone, but they still stand their ground. They wait for either the kaiju or the third level 5 to do something. Anything. A gust of wind brushes across, but no one dares to move a single muscle. Musica lifts her right arm and digs into her pocket in her checkered skirt. She pulls it out, revealing an arcade coin being held by her index finger and thumb. Godzilla spots it and growls. She raises her right arm up straight ahead, aiming the coin. His dorsal fin glows from tail to head. All at once, everyone knows that a battle for survival is about to begin. With her eyes still locked onto Godzilla's, she flicks the coin from her fingers. In an instant, everyone holds their breath. No electricity is emitting from her body, nor on her arm. The coin passes her hand and falls down to the side of the building. It hits the ground, then it stops. Raygon stares away from the coin, back at Mikoto. Another cold breeze brushes across. She rests her arms to her side and opens her hands. He bellows, then darts his eyes to the humans behind her. Euclides closes his eyes and bends to one knee, bowing to him. The sorcerers and saints sets their weapons down or sheathes them and follows what the British PM is doing. Shirai puts the needles away and rests her arms to her sides. Green orbs around Mugino disappears. Accelerator turns the electro back to normal mode. Yumikawa, Tsuzuri, Hamazura, and Kinohata puts the machine guns and assault rifles to safety and rests them on their backs. Godzilla utters another grumble. Then, he turns his attention to his right. The JSDF soldiers lowers their weapons, and the tank cannons depresses to 10 degrees. He looks off to his left. The European Crusaders sheathe their swords and salutes the young kaiju. Raygon turns his attention back to Mikoto. She has not looked away from him, nor pulled out another coin, for in truth, it was her last coin that she flicked to the ground below. He finally understands the message that every human is telling him. They are tired, hurt, physically and mentally, and they do not want to continue any further. A sign that he does indeed finally understand. The blue light disappears from head to toe. His body relaxes. He closes his eyes, inhales, then exhales. He opens his eyes, with his face becoming more calmer. The first time that anyone has seen him like such. The atmosphere within a Battle Twin city has turned quiet and calm. Godzilla, with his eyes still on Misaka, lightly bellows. He turns his body and takes a step behind him. He slowly turns his body halfway, with his left eye looking down at her. She continues to look on. The kaiju lets out a light bellow, turns his eye away from her, then turns his body fully around, beginning his walk away from the humans and from the tower. Collectively, every human, including the kaiju, breathes a sigh of relief. Toma slowly approaches and stops beside Makoto. The two watches on as Godzilla III walks further and further away as another calming breeze brushes across. The two espers looks at each other. Toma smiles, knowing that she had done the right thing. Her eyes veers down, nodding her head. The exhausted groan of Raygun grabs their attention. They and the others spot him hunched over. After days of traveling and battling, fatigue has finally caught up with him. He raises his upper body, but staggers on his feet. Concern falls on everyone's minds. The fatigue reaches both Misaka and Kamacho. The two steps back from the ledge, with their vision becoming blurry. Godzilla lets out an exhausted cry and falls over. Misaka and Kamajo falls backwards with their eyes half shut. At the same time, the three falls on their stomach and backs respectively. Eucles, Shirai, Uehiro, Satin, Index, Yumikawa, Kongo, and Suzuri attends to them. Their worried voices calling out to them are becoming muffled with each second that passes. Shirai and Index spots the teens' hands together, understanding one's feelings towards the other. Godzilla III, Misaka, and Kamajo's eyes closes as the clock strikes 9:50 p.m.